Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Final Fantasy VFX's video. Today we will be reviewing the Xenogears Part Infinite because there's been so many, but I'm fine with that, considering it's my favorite game. So anyways, their accessory here is their STMR, 80 magic. Not the highest, because there is New Vision Yuna's STMR. The new one, the songstress version, that's 100 magic, but it doesn't do anything. This one actually does something. 50% demon and machine killer for physical and magical, but probably only going to use this for magic. And 500 flat magic for Elly's. I assume it's for both. And okay, let's go into both sides here. Fire, wind, earth, and water bolting strike chaining, and they're decently high mods, I guess, slightly high. 150% machine killer for allies, and also she has a 30% store buff. Various killers, base form, 150% LB damage, 5% cap, 200% magic TDH. And the LB there is 35% rod and peril. I wish it was 45 or 40%, but okay. And I'm not sure on the LB mods, but I assume it's 200, maybe 300 times. I don't know exactly how much it is, but it is magic asterisk damage, so you can imbue it. And so I think it is, anyways. I'm pretty sure it is, because it said physical damage when I translated it. So it should be. Anyways, we have 200% LB damage buff and also 27 hits. Very nice. And I double checked. It is that magic asterisk damage on our base form LB, so that's decent, I suppose. It has 27 hits, which works with a lot of people, so that's not too bad. Alright, let's move on to the Brave Shift form. 300% store buff as well. 100 times mod buff for her Brave Shift LB, I assume. I don't think it's only for the base. It's very similar to how the other ones had that, and I assume this is only EX2, sadly. And also 200 and 250 times mod buff passively. This is just passive, you don't have to unlock this. For her chaining, which is okay. 350% LB damage, 500% cap, 200% magic TDH. Alright. And the LB, keep in mind this is getting boosted. So this is actually 400 times 27 hits, 130% wind and pearl wind magic damage. Sadly lost the imbue part, but it does have a 50% wind and peril field for the enemy, which is pretty good, pretty high. Higher than, I think it says higher than Ingus. I'm pretty sure. I think his is only 30. Can't remember right now. Yeah, his is 35%, so 50% wind is actually a lot better. So this combined with Emperor is a lot more. So 160%, so that's 210% wind and peril in total. Very good. Very good, actually. Pretty insane. Wind is getting stronger and stronger. I think it's actually one of the strongest elements now because of all these things that are happening. So let's go into some passives here, or some cons, I mean. Unarmed attack in her Brave Shift form, I assume it's attack, it said it was in the translation. There's absolutely no need to be unequipped in her Brave Shift form. I don't understand why that's a thing. Also, another con I should have put is that her Rod and Perils in her Brave Shift, or in her base LB. So you basically have to use her base LB first if you want the Rod and Peril, unless you have from someone else. Like Emperor, for example, he has some Rod and Peril. Can equip rods in her Brave Shift form, but literally nothing else besides materials in the vision card and accessories, of course. So that's kind of a bit expected, I suppose. And the mod boosts for her Brave Shift LB are a little bit low compared to what we've been getting. Regina kind of ruined everything in terms of mages, but she is a chaining mage and not a finishing mage, so I guess that's fair. Yeah, she's not a finisher at all. She definitely is a chainer. So she can work really well with Christmas Charlotte and Emperor. I assume anyways. Hopefully there's no annoying delays, because I don't like those. I hate those. But from what I saw from the preview, 'cause I don't have one myself and I can't find any friends in the preview. When you look in the banner, there didn't look like there was any delays, so hopefully not. Hopefully not. All right, so let's look at her score here. I'm gonna give her an 8 out of 10. I think she's pretty good in the wind team. The wind team is kind of niche, but it is becoming a lot stronger. The global version is not going to be able to get Christmas Charlotte probably, because she also has 27 hits wind chaining. Not very strong, but it does help a lot, and she's a magic tank, so it's very nice to have. Obviously, she works really well with Emperor. She'll be able to get that 210% win in peril in total on his SLB, of course, 160%. We know that. Yeah, 8 out of 10 is pretty good. She's just good. I mean, she's not great. I wish she was great. I wish she was great. She's just okay. And our TMR is also not really worth mentioning at all, other than I'm mentioning it now. Why does it's just empty refresh has the passive on it, and it's closed with pretty low magic. I think it was like 60. Just why? The other guy I'll be talking about is actually a lot better in terms of his TMR. But let's cover this back up first, of course. All right, 8 out of 10 for Elly, and let's move on to Citan, who's what I was mentioning, his TMR is actually also 60 attack, but it has 100% LB damage on it, so that's pretty good. His accessory is a lot better though, 100% physical TDH, so this is very nice for units who have 300% TDH already and need a bit more, but you have to awkwardly use a materia slot for it. Now this is an option for you to have 100% TDH but also have 80 attack, so you're not really giving anything up, which is pretty good. Both sides, his various killers, of course, 500% cap, 150% LB damage in his base form, 350% LB damage in his brave shift form. So technically not both sides, but I just fit it there for compression. 200% TDH, so you'd have 300% or 400%. I assume they stack with 2 of his S TMRs. And his TMR reward gives 100% all killers. EX2 gives 100% more killers. So he would have 300% if you go to EX2, which is probably mandatory because he has a cooldown that requires EX2, I believe. You'd have 300% killers for some killers. That's pretty impressive. 150% wind amp for himself, only one use. So make sure to count that. 150% human machine killer buff for himself. I don't know why only 150%, but okay. The base form, he has a 1,400 times 2-hit cooldown. That's not an elemental. Whatever. I just added it there. The base form's LB, 30% katana in peril, and 130% wind in peril. 24 hits, 100 times, 3 times each. I assume it's 300 times wind physical damage. In the brave shift form, we have a 60 times mod buff. Why only 60 times when we've been getting better than that? I guess. For his brave shift LB, I assume. Cooldown, of course. The brave shift LB is a great sword in peril of 30%. Great sword in peril 150% machine killer, 350 times wind physical damage, 24 hits. Now there is a great sword in the box currently, which he probably would like to have. Although the attack is a little low, he would like to have that. So in his base form, you would use his 7-star S TMR most likely because you can make it 2-handed. And for the brave shift form, you would use the box greatsword, which I don't like too much because if you don't get it, then you don't get it. So make sure to get it if you're pulling for Citan. Alright, so I guess what you could do is if you have him at EX2, I assume that's where you get the killers for, you could like do equip close, so I think equip close exists, and have him equip Titus S TMR for more modifiers. I believe that should work for his Brave Shift LB. I assume that should work. That probably would be a lot better. However, why 24 hits? I know they're trying to bring back they're trying to bring back Stardust Ray, but 27 hits and bolting strike chaining is so much better and easier and works with everybody. This is what they do all the time. When they establish a known family or just a huge amount of units that have a certain number of hits, they swap over to something else, and now you can't use Citan with anyone else really because it's 24 hits. And a lot of the units back in the day that had 24 hits, now who would use them? And he's wind, so he can't work with Dorgan. He could work with Lena, I guess. I'm just trying to reach a little bit here. I don't know what else to do. Just why 24 hits? Okay, fine. Kind of low modifiers for just being a new unit, and he's also not a real finisher. I mean, maybe his 24 hits is a finisher, technically like Balthier, I guess. But who is he working with in Dark Visions, really? Other than Lena. Or maybe some other 24 hitters. I don't understand too much. And his unarmed passive is pretty useless since he can equip Katana and Greatsword and benefit from those. So I don't understand why he would have an unarmed. So I'm pretty sure the amount of attack that he gains, as well as having a Greatsword or Katana equipped, is much better. Most likely, but we'll have to test it if I pull, of course. I don't know if I'm pulling or not. But yeah, so let us reveal the score here, guys. 8.5 out of 10. He's pretty good. I just don't like the 24 hits. Maybe in time I will like it, because I'm sure they'll release more 24 hit units and make it so you can't use them with the 27 hitters. They do this all the time. They do this all the time. For example, Squall and the other banner unit, I can't remember his name right now because it's early in the morning, but they had different chaining frames, so you couldn't chain with them together. And they do this all the time with a lot of other kind of units. They bring in a chaining family, they use it for a while, then they swap over to something else, so then you can't use the older units with the newer units too much. And they're going back to the strategy again. I thought Suda was over that, because that was Hirano's thing that he used to like to do. But apparently we're going back to that. I don't like it too much. So 8.5, even though I rated Elly lower, I think Elly is actually more valuable because of the wind and peril field. But on their individual merits, yes, Citan is higher, but I think in terms of value, I think Elly is better because I just think that Elly's better because she can, with the wind and peril field is so nice, and also the 24 hits is very nice to work with a lot of other units, including Emperor and also Christmas, Charlotte. And I can also use, you can also have Regina on the team, and also have Neovision Poppy on the team if you'd like to do that as well. So I think that's pretty valuable. Anyways, that's my review, guys. Id and Faye also got crown buffs, and you can get them technically for free, but the missions, or the quest that you have to do is Xenogears only. There are no tanks in Xenogears, so that's going to be an interesting bout to go through, I suppose. Anyways, Id is pretty decent. I think it was like a 380 times mod on his Brave Shift LB. That's including his cooldown, of course. And also he gets more flat attack. Faye is pretty much the same. He gets a higher modifier in his Brave Shift LB, which is pretty decent. So pretty decent. I mean, you don't expect crown units to be super meta or anything, but they're pretty decent now. No buffs for Graf though. No crown buffs for Graf. I assume this is because they think that he's still good enough right now. So I don't know when he's gonna ever get crown buffs. I don't know when Xenogears is ever gonna come back now, because they could do a part 2. They could do part 2 with Vision World, I suppose. So keep yourself on guard. There could be a part 2 where they make Vision World, another Vision World, Xenogears Vision World, I suppose. And they could do, finally, I assume that they're going to do the Ramses and Mang tag unit eventually. It writes itself. Tank, physical DPS, healer, all in one unit. You could even make it an SLB if you'd like. I don't care too much, although I'd prefer Brave Shift, of course. I'm assuming they're going to do a part 2, because I'm just keeping myself on guard with a part 2. But anyways, guys, thank you guys very much for watching. Appreciate you. And see ya in the next video. Peace.